This is always one of my favorite concerts of the year. It looks like we have like 5 times as many people here as a normal concert. I know it's just because we're all spread out and comfortable, but it just looks awesome. This first group tonight is Jazz Band. Jazz Band starts in about November and comes to school, hangs out after school until about 3:15, 3:30 every Tuesday from November till now. For nothing except for donuts and Capri Suns. We are playing 3 pieces for you tonight. The first is Ain't No Mountain High Enough. The second one's a little short, but it's really, really important as a development of a jazz musician. This is a Count Basie tune called Bye Bye Blackbird. Stylistically, it's way outside of their wheelhouse, but it's really important. The third is Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Here's Jazz Band. right, now for 6th grade. 6th grade has been a really, really special group. Yeah, let's clap for them. There are 88 6th graders on stage. 88. They have done an absolutely incredible job this year. They've persisted through just 6th grade band, which is hard. I remember speaking to you before our very first concert in November, and we sounded like, I always think about 6th grade band, it sounds like a hive of bees. Really angry bees. And then as we were warming up, you heard them. They have completely different sounds. They're focusing on articulating the note together, releasing together. They're thinking about tone that blends with other instruments. So they're not even thinking about blending with the rest of the flute players. They're thinking about blending the flutes with the clarinets, or the saxophones with the French horns, the low brass all together. And you're gonna hear that coming in as we play all of our pieces today. So we have 3 pieces. The first is Alien Invasion. The second is Chillaxin. The third is F1. When I first started thinking about F1, I actually picked it and bought it for 7th grade. And as I looked through it, I was like, 6th grade can play this. It was a stretch piece, but they are crushing it. It's really hard, but they're knocking it out of the park. Here is 6th grade, Alien Invasion. All right, our next piece this evening is called Chillaxin, and it is going to be conducted by Mr. Corbett. Mr. Corbett was my student teacher this year. Mr. Corbett was my student teacher this year, and in case you didn't catch it, the kids love him. He was absolutely fantastic. When OU reached out and asked if I wanted a student teacher, I said no. Pretty much a one-word email to a friend of mine. And she was like, he's great. He's really, really, really good. And I said, still no. And then she was like, just have him out for a 30-hour observation. Just 30 hours last year. And I was like, okay, cool, as long as he doesn't think he's student teaching here. And then I got to know him, and he's infectiously positive. he cares about the kids a whole lot. And I have never heard him say anything negative about any kid. He just comes at every single problem with just this positivity and caring that needs to be more everywhere. So this is Mr. Corbett, this is Chillaxin. Here he is.
Hi y'all, I guess I'm going to say a few words too. That was super duper nice. Can we just have a round of applause for Mr. Cooper? Like, without Mr. Cooper, this wouldn't be a thing. Good job with that. Yeah, so I did my student teaching here, and I had the wonderful privilege to work with such amazing students, and then also just a wonderful mentor and teacher. Super grateful to have been here, and I'm super excited for you all to hear this group. So without further ado, here is Chillaxin.
All right, we are ready for 7th grade. Seventh grade is going to play 3 pieces for y'all tonight. The first one is going to be conducted by Mr. Corbett. It's called Furioso. It starts kind of fast and it gets faster. The second is called Stampede, and it's supposed to sound like a stampede. There's this quiet part before the stampede comes in. In the middle, you're going to hear the temple blocks sounding like horses all running at different times. It's big, it's loud, it's chaotic, and then we kind of emerge from that chaos. The last piece, much like that last 6th grade piece, was a piece that I had not originally picked out for 7th grade. I was picking it out for them at the beginning of 8th grade. But the stretch piece just worked for us this concert cycle. So here is Mr. Corbett with Furioso.
Center front. Center.
All right, let's hear it one more time for 7th grade. I got all thrown off in the pieces and I forgot to talk about them. So this year, 7th grade has come a really long way, as you just heard. At the beginning of the year, they were coming out of 6th grade sounds. We were figuring out how to balance and blend with each other, and there were a couple parts there where I was like, I don't really hear a flute or a clarinet right now. I hear flutes and clarinets, which is exactly the goal. They have a really, really, really big sound. Most of our rehearsal today was spent being like, hey, shh. Because they have giant sounds, because they've worked really, really hard. I think in a lot of ways this year was, for all of us, coming out of COVID still. And this group has done a really nice job starting to push themselves to be the very best that they can be, and I've been super impressed this year. I just didn't want to forget to talk about how great they were. Let's hear it one more time for 7th grade. Thank you all. Ready for you. Tonight, we are playing 3 pieces for you. The first is New Orleans Moment. It's kind of a cool piece. It takes you through a couple different kind of feels of New Orleans music as you go through the piece. Starts off kind of slow, gives you a woodwind feature and then a brass feature, then we kick it up into like a swing thing. Then we have Crunch Time with Mr. Corbett. Our last piece is Pixar Movie Magic. I gave them, again, recurring themes. I gave them Pixar Movie Magic as an absolute stretch piece. I thought that we probably had a 10% shot at putting it on stage for you. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. And this group has worked hard this year to deliver at a really, really high level. So I wanted to make sure that what we played for you at the end of the year concert was at that level. And they worked really hard on Pixar Movie Magic. The day that they wanted to play it first, I didn't have copies made, but I just gave them the originals. We played it, and they were like, please copy this, second hour, we'll come back at the end of the day. And half of them were gone at the end of the day so they could practice it for the second day. And that work ethic continued through their entire time with it. It took up a lot of our time, but I think you and they will be really proud of it. Here's 8th grade. All right, we have one more piece for you this evening. This piece is called Pixar Movie Magic. It's quite a few themes from a bunch of different movies that you'll probably recognize. But first, I've been mentally preparing myself. The second to last day of school with 8th grade, I always sit down with them and I read them a book. And it's a book about life because it's the last time that I get to see all of them together. It's always a tough experience, sitting down and realizing that this is our last time together. Aside from the pen party, which isn't really us together. This is a special group for me. They're my first group of 6th graders. They are the only people in the entire world who started band on the internet. They are some people that I've taught since they were 5 and through to now. The ones that I just met this year, the ones that I've known since they were 5, they're all just really, really special people. And I'm gonna miss them. Here's Pixar Movie Magic. thank you all so much for being here. Just a real couple quick thank yous now that I'm not all choked up. Huge thank you to Mr. Ilan for doing all of our sound tonight. Parent of a current high schooler and graduated? College. So left the program, it was like, hey, I ran sound last year, I could do it again. And I was like, yes, please. Thank you, thank you. Another huge round of applause to Mr. Gazy, wherever he is. He brought all of the instruments here. Without him, we could not be here. Thank you, thank you. All right. So if you have a percussionist, I would love to borrow them to help reload the trailer. We're kind of in reverse order. The timpani have to go on first, and then kind of everything else filters on. All the chairs and stands have to get stacked up in neat, orderly fashion. So if we have a couple of grown-ups who could come help kids, that would be awesome. Stands all need to go on racks with similar stands. So plastic stands and metal stands all have to go on the same racks. Thank you all so much. I am going to go to an ice cream place somewhere in Lake Orion. I feel like I can't announce which one I'm going to go to or it will get sold out of ice cream. But if I see you there, that would be awesome. Have a wonderful night. Drive safe.